Welcome to day 26 of my journal. Today we're going to talk about fear. Fear is a normal human emotion that so many of us deal with. And it holds us back from so many things that are good for us in life. A lot of us are scared. A lot of us are scared to achieve the things that we want. We're afraid of what we will look like when we begin. We're afraid of being ridiculed. We're afraid that people will laugh at us. And we care. We care a lot. It's in our evolution. It's in our DNA. Because it used to mean that if we were ridiculed and people didn't like us, we were kicked out of the tribe. Thousands and thousands of years ago, 100,000 years ago, when we were hunter-gatherers. When we evolved, if we were unliked by the people around us, we couldn't switch people. There weren't enough of us to switch people. So we have to conform to what's going on around us. It's why people tend to act differently in big groups than they will individually. There is something in our evolution, in our psychology, that wants to keep us safe. So we fear new things and we fear being ridiculed. But that no longer serves us. We live in a time where you can always find new people to be around. And digitally, you can find and have contact with 8 billion people. And that is pretty true. So the fear that we will be ostracized from the crowd, that we will be kicked out and have no one, is no longer that relevant. Because you can find acceptance in other groups. That's not always a good thing. But when the skills you're trying to gain and the things that you want to do in life seem a little far-fetched to the people around you, we let the fear of them laughing at us or mocking us, teasing us, we let that fear that they won't believe in us hold us back from even trying. We let the fear of looking silly or stupid hold us back from attempting something that could be great. I remember as a kid, I got made fun of a lot. I love knowledge. I love reading. During the summer, I would do these book reports. And my siblings would do these book reports with me that we would all choose different books to read. And they would have to be educational. That was kind of the idea. We would read on this subject and then we would teach ourselves what we had read to the other siblings. That's kind of silly. I would stay up till 4 a.m. when school was at 6 a.m. because I was reading and I wanted to finish that book. I still did all the sports and I did all the regular kid stuff, but I was obsessed with knowledge. And I remember I got made fun of. And luckily I had parents that pushed me to value the importance of education. Because when I got made fun of, I just kind of laughed it off. I didn't think much about the mockery thrown my way. Because it made people uncomfortable that I had these weird, random bits of knowledge. And I had a lot of them. And it made them uncomfortable that I would want to read instead of play video games. And I didn't care. It didn't even enter my mind that they were making fun of me and that I should care because I had a support group. I had my parents pushing me to value education. I got lucky in that regards. But as adults, we can choose what we value. I value education, and I don't mean in a schoolhouse somewhere. I value education in general. I value learning information because you want to learn information and it makes you better. I value that tremendously. I don't care what degrees you have. Some of the smartest people I've ever listened to don't have degrees. They might be like you and have studied the literature and studied books and videos and downloaded hundreds of thousands of hours of knowledge by doing their own study. Being studious is something that I love, and it's something that I value. Being strong, being athletic, being kind, but being good, those are things I value. And sometimes I've been mocked for them. I go to the gym 4 times a week. That's a lot. I used to go 6. And I do exercise every single day in some form or another. I have been mocked before for doing that. I watch what I eat and will sometimes pass dessert because it's not going to help me with my goals. And I've been mocked for that because it's kind of weird. To get different results than the average, you have to do something different than what the average is doing. The average adult in America is obese, has less than 100. I got that number wrong. The average American is obese, has less than $1,000 in their bank account, checking and savings, in a ton of debt, and they don't have that good of relationships with the people around them, and they're definitely not healthy. I don't want to live a life like that. Do you? Do you want to live a life that's normal? I don't. My favorite thing about my favorite people is they're all different. Not one of them are very much like the other. They have unique perspectives. They have weird quirks. They have interesting likes and interesting dislikes. That brings flavor to life. I've talked about it before, but if we all liked vanilla ice cream and that was the only flavor of ice cream there was, how boring of a world would that be? There's some weirdos out there that love pistachio ice cream, and I'm glad they exist. I'm glad they exist because that brings a different perspective into the world. Not all perspectives are equally good. Pistachio ice cream objectively is not as good as other ice creams. But it benefits humanity that we are different. And the fear that is holding you back from showing what you truly like and enjoy and want to push after, the good things that you want to accomplish that are hidden by fear, it's a detriment to humanity. You could be doing great things with the skills that you could acquire if you could get past that fear. And people talk about, oh, he's so brave. Oh, he's so strong to push past that fear. No. Most people, the first time they're trying something new, the high achievers that you idolize, they are scared. Bravery is acting in spite of that fear. You push through that fear. It's normal to be scared. You should be scared. But that doesn't mean you don't act. You act in spite of fear. That's true bravery, and that's true strength. And you can choose to do that because it's an action. It's in spite of your feelings. So that's good, that's powerful. It means you can choose. You can choose to be brave. It's not a feeling. It's not a trait you were endowed with. You can feel that fear and do what you want anyways. Because what's the worst that's going to happen? List it out. Because when I'm afraid of something, if I say the fears out loud, I realize how goofy they are. If I try to do this, no one around me will love me. No one will respect me. They'll all leave me. That's absurd. They won't all do that. Maybe there might be one or two. But they weren't really supporting you. So do I care if I lose them? The answer is no. A lot of the times our fears and anxieties stay in our head. We don't verbalize them, so we don't hear how crazy they sound. When I write down my fears, when I say them out loud, I realize how silly that I sound. Because most of the time, the worst thing that can happen is I will fail and I will get laughed at. Those two things might be true, and most likely will be true. But I've realized that my bigger fears have never been realized. They haven't been acted out. No one's actually. The good support group I'm worried about losing, and the people I care about their opinions, they don't actually leave me. Like I'm scared they're going to if I try a new sport, or I try a new hobby, or I do something like this that's a little different. None of them have left me. None of my fears were as big as what I thought they were. I would make mountains out of molehills. And that's what fear leads us to do. They take little problems and they make them huge. They magnify them tenfold. And you will see that once you act past that fear, once you are brave for the first time, it's not that scary. Oh, I thought it was a great white shark, and in reality, it was a goldfish. I was afraid of walking past this little problem because I thought it was huge. Don't do that to yourself. Today, be brave. Choose to be brave. Do something that makes you a little uncomfortable, that you fear. That's the way to go. I know I need to act towards this, on this impulse, because I'm afraid of it. I'm afraid to talk to that girl. I'm afraid to have that conversation. I'm afraid to try this new thing. Probably means you need to do it. As long as your goals are good and healthy, what you're afraid of is what you're avoiding, and your brain knows it. That's why you're afraid of it. Act. Action is bravery. So be brave today. We're going to end it right there. I love you guys. Be the good in the world today and be brave.